Welcome to the Galloway and Isbell podcast. My name is Thomas Galloway. To my right is Evan Isbell. How are you, Evan?
What's up? I'm doing good.
Doing good. Okay. Noah Galloway to my left. How are you, Noah?
I'm doing great.
He's doing great. All right. So this is the first pod of 2018, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we also have a new mic.
Oh my. This is so much pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a new year. Figured might as well upgrade a little bit, and also just in case it doesn't work for some reason, we're doing it with the iPhone as well.
The classic. And also it makes me feel more comfortable that we're doing it the classic way.
The classic way. Because worst case scenario, we drop some serious fire here and nothing gets recorded, right? That's the worst case scenario. Okay, so today we have a few things to talk about. Our favorite stuff of 2017. So music, movies, TV shows, all that stuff. Classes are over and classes are about to begin, so we're kind of in that no man's land in between. Talk about that. We have a couple animal-related questions, which are kind of our forte here at the Galloway and Isbell podcast. Noah made a game-winning three-pointer the other night, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we have some utensil questions, forks, knives, spoons, etc. And also, if you have any suggestions, like you've been listening to podcasts in 2017, you think we should do something different in 2018, we'd be glad to hear it. One thing that I've realized over the course of this is that doing a podcast on a regular basis is really difficult to come up with content. Mm-hmm. And I respect the people who do it for a profession even more now.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we're looking for
getting
suggestions.
the motivation just to do it.
Right.
Oh, man.
I
gotta get out of bed and talk.
Gotta get out of bed and talk. It's a lot.
That's like two things that I'm not good at.
Right. At the same time. So, we're always looking for prompts. We'd really appreciate it if you would offer some up. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes. Follow on SoundCloud and share the podcast with a friend. It really does help. So in a moment, we'll get to our topics. But first, this podcast is brought to you by Morning Bell Coffee Roasters. Morning Bell offers a diverse and unique selection of specialty coffees and have direct personal relationships with their suppliers. Visit Morning Bell at 111 Main Street in Ames, Iowa, or get their coffee at the Wheatsfield Co-op or either Hy-Vee location in Ames. If you do not live in the Ames area, that is not a problem. You can order off their website, morningbellcoffee.com. And shipping is free anywhere in the United States if you order over 2 pounds of coffee. And whether you visit the actual location or order online, let them know we sent you. They like hearing how new customers hear about their business, and it shows us and them that the sponsorship thing actually works. So let's get to our favorite stuff of 2017. So, favorite movie of 2017. Anybody who wants to start this one off, go for it.
Good question. I liked Wonder Woman a lot, but that was one of the only movies I saw in 2017.
Yeah.
That was with you guys too. So
yeah.
That might be why I'm remembering it.
Right, good, yeah. Noah?
I like Baby Driver.
I changed my movie. It's Baby Driver.
Great action, police, getaway car scenes, and just phenomenal overall movie.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we all saw that one together as well. That was a great movie. Noah and I watched it 2 nights in a row. That's also my answer, but I also, to give some more suggestions, I like The Big Sick.
Mm-hmm. Big Sick was good.
You saw Logan Lucky, right? With Channing Tatum, the racing one, as a robbery.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was really good. Dunkirk was awesome.
Dunkirk, okay, have not seen that. Wonder Woman, Spider-Man was it was fresh and
still haven't seen it.
That was really funny too.
Yeah, so pretty solid year for movies. Favorite music or playlist or album or artist of 2017 that stood out to you guys?
I'm going with Division and Plaza. They both sound similar to The Weeknd, and I like The Weeknd, so there we go.
Oh, there you go.
I like Shakira's new album. She put out an album at the end of the summer. That was really nice. And then she did this song with Prince Royce.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It was so good.
Yeah. For me, this is a good year for movie soundtracks. We mentioned Baby Driver. That soundtrack was incredible.
Definitely.
With this movie, we did a deep dive, a review, a whole podcast about Baby Driver. I think that's episode 6, if you want to go back and listen to that. We talked a little about Wonder Woman as well. But Baby Driver, and then La La Land came out at the end of 2016, but 2017, the soundtrack and the movie itself were still very popular. So I really like that soundtrack. So for me, it was a good year for movie soundtracks, and I really I became more aware of how important soundtracks are in movies.
Oh yeah,
and they set the tone, and so it's a good year for that. And also for this year of music, every year I create a playlist. And I put this on my Snapchat story last night, but I create a playlist of as I go along the year of like songs that mark like specific points in time. Like when I listen to it again, I remember a very specific event or occasion. And so I made a playlist of those songs, and so you can, if anybody's interested, like it's probably different for everybody. The songs each year,
they're gonna listen to that soundtrack and feel all the emotions that you were feeling.
Right,
they're gonna be like, "Why am I having these strange memories? I feel like I'm Tommy Galloway."
The power of Spotify. So if you're interested, you can check that out on my Spotify. But also, favorite show of 2017.
Like new show or like just show in general?
That's
like
that's the problem. Like if there's one that stood out to you that was created in 2017, then that one. But if not, there's one that you watched in 2017 that really liked.
That's a good question.
I'm going with Mindhunter. A couple of FBI agents interview psychopaths and serial killers, and it was just a very deep, intellectual type show for deep thinkers. So go check it out.
Evan, do you have any in particular?
I've been studying a lot of Spanish, so all of my shows are like Spanish shows. But I did get started on this new show called El Barco.
Yeah.
And it's about
the ship.
The ship, yeah.
Yeah,
it's about the
you
ship.
mentioned it on our podcast.
I did? Okay, so everyone knows what it's about.
I'm not blaming it. That's how I remember it in Spanish. I don't know Spanish.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and listen to all of our podcasts.
Until you find it.
And then you'll know what I'm talking about.
My favorite show was Mindhunter as well, but that was literally the only show that came out in 2017 that I watched. So it kind of is difficult. Usually when I watch a show, I just like rewatch Mad Men or something or The Office. But yeah,
my family's going crazy on The Office right now. I swear. Like last week, I went downstairs and I was watching. My parents were watching like the Christmas special.
Yeah.
And then like this week, I saw them watching. I swear that I saw them watching the same episode. And they've been like, I think they've gone through it a couple times this week.
Okay, so favorite book of 2017. It doesn't have to come out in 2017. Just something you read or multiple books that you read this year that you really liked.
Well, I'm going to go with The Picture of Dorian Gray. A young, handsome man gets into sin, and it kind of tears apart his soul. And this book is banned, yet I'm not really sure why, because I think it's probably because people are guilty when they read this book because they see all the sin that Dorian commits, and it brings back their own personal memories of sin, and they feel ashamed.
Evan?
I'm reading a book it's called How to Read Literature Like a Professor. It's really interesting. It helps you like, it's all about like finding those clues. So like, for example, say like they're eating a meal together in a book. You're reading a book and it's like, oh, there's this scene. That scene's supposed to be like, okay, help you pick apart the story more. That book's pretty good. And then I read a grammar book.
Nice.
That was really helpful for Spanish.
Nice.
And yeah, that's about it.
My favorite book of 2017 did come out in 2017, but was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, that was. I'm reading that one right now.
Nice.
In Spanish.
It's really a good book.
It's really good in Spanish too.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell is my favorite authors, and so my favorite book and also wasn't quite the same thing as my favorite thing I read. So I don't really count this as a book. No, you can grab that thing right there. Okay, so this little thing is called The Pocket Guide to Action, and it's 116 Meditations on the Art of Doing. So it's really not a book. It's just a bunch of little thoughts. Yeah, check it out. It's not something you pick up and read. Like you can read it all in a week or whatever. But
it's like a bathroom book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's more just little thoughts that condense motivational, inspiring messages, and it was really good. Like the one thing I'm biggest on is action, and if you could put one word that you think about every day to get you to motivate you, action I think is the best word to think about. And so that's what this book was. It was really good for me to read this year, and it also comes in a PDF form that's free.
Really?
If anybody, including you, if anybody would like me to email that to them, I can.
Maybe we could link it.
We can certainly find a way to link it to you guys.
Sure.
It's really good.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I would say probably the single best thing I would suggest particularly a young person, to read to kind of get them off the couch.
Mm-hmm. Or on the couch. Or on the couch. While you're reading it, but then off the couch after you're done reading it.
Precisely, yes. So that was, and then also the third one, I would for basketball fans out there, the best basketball book I've ever read is Basketball and Other Things.
I didn't know there was basketball books.
I have that one handy as well.
Oh, that's
It's called
cool.
Basketball and Other Things. Yeah, it's the if there's someone who's not interested in basketball wants to read a basketball book, this is the best the one I recommended the best.
Is this a comic book? Oh no, it's not.
A little.
Oh,
bit.
it does have a few images.
It's by Shea Serrano, who is also a really good Twitter follow. If you guys are on Twitter, really funny guy. He tweets a lot though, so if you get annoyed at people who tweet a lot, then don't follow him. But the book is really funny. It's really good. It's not a traditional basketball book by any means. It's kind of goofy and it's interesting. So that was one of my favorite books of the year. Podcast. Besides this one, do you guys listen to much podcasts that stood out to you guys over the year?
I do. I follow Coffee Break Spanish, Coffee Break French. They're a really good podcast about learning languages, and so they do a really good job of progressing you through the language.
Right.
And explaining grammar, but keeping it fun. And they're also from Scotland, so that makes it. They've got some really cool Scottish accents, which I'm like not doing a good job. I'm sorry. And then my family, we listened to when we went on a road trip this year. We went to Illinois and we listened to Sawbones. It's have you heard of it?
No.
It's like a medical thing. Like
Podcast.
a podcast about medical stuff,
Yes.
but it's really just like a bunch of really wacky stories about like strange and mysterious like sicknesses. Like the king of some land got the sickness where he thought that he was made of glass, and so that it was like a mental thing.
Okay, interesting. Noah?
I'm going with the Adam Carolla Show. He was a former radio guy. He's a comedian, and he talks about life, and he makes it super entertaining. It's really funny, and just a solid 90 minutes of entertainment every day.
Yeah, he puts out a lot of content.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
He puts a 90-minute
He does
episode
a lot.
out every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did radio, so he's kind of used to this.
Oh,
So
wow.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's a lot. When I listen to that every day, I'm like, and then we do this. I'm like, man, how does he do that?
It's crazy.
It's pretty insane. But
By himself.
he has a couple sidekicks, but
Okay.
they mostly just have side comments. Like, it's not like they're providing a whole lot of content themselves. But my favorite podcast, I'm going to go back to Malcolm Gladwell again. He has his podcast called Revisionist History, and
That's a good one.
yeah, he basically goes through events in history that he feels like were misexplained or misinterpreted and re-explains them, or forgot things he thought were forgotten that need to be reminded to the people, and it's really good. And a lot of things aren't just random history things. There are things that are still applicable today, or themes that you can apply to your daily interactions.
Cool.
So one that I would recommend right off the bat that I listened to again recently, it was in season 2. He's done 2 seasons of this, 10 episodes each season. And it is called Miss Buchanan's Something. And she was a teacher. It's basically the Brown versus Board of Education
Trial.
in 1955 or 1954 when basically ended segregation of schools. But one thing they did was not integrate the teachers. The majority of teachers were fired for not meeting qualifications or being not
so
quite as
it
good
kept
as their white
they
peers.
segregated through like
Yeah.
kind of sneakier ways.
Right. So the students were integrated, but they didn't have really teachers that they could connect with because most black teachers were fired for being not equal to their white peers, which was not true because, in generally speaking, if you were a black person at that time period, really if you were bright and curious and educated, really the only place you could get a job was being a teacher.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So that would be my favorite podcast of the year. And I think that's all we have as far as like our favorites of 2017. So with classes being over, in between classes, in our second episode, our first episode we ever did, we talked about summer feeling like purgatory because you're sort of just in no man's land, not doing a whole lot. How do we feel about this 3-week break between semesters?
I feel like it's like an extreme purgatory for me because I get an extra long break because you go back like Monday. I go back to classes on the 25th.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have an extra long period, and like it kind of feels like I'm going into this like other world type of thing because it's like I'm going to study abroad, and so this whole break I really don't need to do anything. I just need to keep studying and stuff, which is like easy. But like once I go back to classes, it's gonna be like an actual huge transition.
Yeah.
As opposed to like going back to like Iowa State or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a few analog questions. I think we'll move on to Noah's game winner. We'll talk a little bit about that since that's a little more time sensitive. It just happened a week or two ago. So, what was your initial reaction? Like, just initial feelings right when you make that shot? So, just to set the scene, we're down to, with 7 seconds left, made a 3-pointer.
On Noah's high school basketball team.
On Noah's high school basketball team to put them up by 1. So, what initial feelings when that happened, when you made that shot?
Well, for starters, it was such an adrenaline rush that it just sort of paralyzed you for a second.
It was crazy.
Because it was so just kind of surreal because you picture doing that and you dream about it and stuff, but just the likelihood of that situation is nearly impossible. And so it was just, the adrenaline rush was paralyzing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you, like, have you practiced a bunch of 3-pointers, like, in the past, or was it something that you, like,
sure.
you knew it was going in when you
Yeah, I was
shot
pretty sure it was going in.
Nice.
Yeah, so that felt good.
So, we've talked about this kind of debate, whether you'd like to make a game-winning shot like at home with your home fans or on the road against the opposing fans and like make them completely quiet.
Yeah.
What was making, and this shot was on the road, was it as good as you thought it would be?
No, because, well, for starters, the gym was 20 minutes away from our home gym, so there's a lot of our fans there, and so you can't really feel the depressedness of
the other team?
Of the other team.
Oh, that'd be so depressing.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so the other thing is, the previous possession, like with 30 or 40 seconds left, he missed basically the exact same shot that he made with 7 seconds left. So, what about your how do you feel missing the exact same shot before? Did it affect when you shot the second one?
Well, since the game was so intense and I was just so locked into it, it had felt like it had happened like several minutes ago, and then I watched the game later and it happened like 20 seconds before and I completely forgot about that. And so that was obviously helped when I for that shot, just knowing or feeling like it had happened a long time ago, that it just hadn't happened.
Right.
And so that obviously helped for the success of the last shot, having a short memory.
Yeah. So on this podcast, a lot of times we like to take like ordinary events and try to tie them to life and have some life lessons out of them. So there's a few life lessons I got out of that event.
Out of seeing your brother.
Out of seeing my brother make a 3-pointer. So, and I wrote them down. And one thing I do like about sports is that like these life lessons that normally would take a long time to understand or see, they are like condensed in like a short period of time, and they become apparent fairly quickly. I wrote down a few lessons like from this shot. Number one, being focused on the positive outcome. It's like a lot, like we all kind of want to make like those game-winning shots in life, like those life events, but a lot of times we're afraid of what happens if we miss. And I was thinking like we get caught up in the potential for failure that we don't even take the shot in the first place. So the lesson for me was like focus on the positive outcome, shoot the game winner, start your business, go talk to the girl, whatever it is. Like just focus on the positive outcome, and I think you're more likely to take those steps. The second lesson that I got out of this was, as we mentioned, Noah missed the same exact shot like the previous possession, and so how good we have been at something doesn't predetermine how good we will be at it in the future. Oh, yeah. So like if we mess up something, there's a very good chance the second time we'll get it or the third time we'll get it right. But a lot of times it feels like we do something and then for some reason we just say it, we're not good at it, so we just say, well, this isn't for me. And then we never even get ourselves the opportunity to get it right the second or third time. So that's another thing I really liked about that shot was he messed it up with 30 or 40 seconds left, but he's like, that's not going to affect whether I make
define.
Right, it's not going to define whether I make the next one. And so I thought that was a really good lesson, that you just move on, you try it again, and that time you might get it. The third lesson I got is that a lot of times I think how people kind of carry themselves playing sports is kind of like a little window into their personality. So not necessarily how good they are, but the decisions they make, like I said, how they carry themselves. So sometimes when I'm watching like sporting events, I look at the people and say like, would I hire that person? And I think like the practical application of that for employers can be really difficult because a lot of times you aren't going to get to see your employees like play sports.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a useful exercise in like thinking how common traits transfer from one area of life to another.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Like, are they getting frustrated
Right.
when they miss that shot? Because like in high school tennis, we weren't allowed to like if we missed it. If we messed up, we weren't allowed to like be frustrated.
Right.
Like it was like if we got seen like swinging our racket or something, we'd be like, "Hey, you have to leave now," or like you like get off the court.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of those things they do transfer to other areas of life. I think, and we may not always appreciate that, but I really do think they do. So basically, what I'm saying is, Noah's looking for a job.
Oh, okay. So
this,
if you're out there, any employers,
Shout out.
Shout out.
he's going for 10.50 if you can get it, but minimum wage is no problem.
He's fine with that. Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take what I can get.
Okay, so some animal questions. This first question comes from Martin Taylor, a friend of mine from Colorado, and his Instagram is Martin_Taylor, then the number 4, and he gave us this prompt in July, and we tried to talk about it on the grain bin that one time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the second episode.
The second episode.
The
but
mosquitoes were killer.
The mosquitoes
man.
were really bad.
Oh, man.
So, you know what? We got around to it. It might be 2018, but we got around to
Okay,
it.
we got there.
So, what is the animal that you would want to ride if you could? Like a horse.
Okay.
You could ride like a horse. It's like domesticated. It will let you ride it like a horse. And
Ride
also
like
you can like shrink or make yourself larger depending on how you want to go about this.
Can I
But-
like make myself small and then big, or is it like I'm
Yeah, okay,
permanently
so
that
this is how it
way?
works. It every time you hop like say it's like a mosquito or something and you want to ride the mosquito,
You shrink to the
you shrink, you
mosquito
go
size.
shoop, shoop. And so
Shoop.
we thought this would also make a really good movie as well. Like when you hop in an animal, you go shoop,
Shoop.
how about the animal? So
Like a bunch of Ant-Man, but like when you just
Right,
when you
exactly.
Yeah,
hop
for
in
sure.
there.
Yeah.
yeah. And so what do you guys have choices here? What do you guys think?
I think I remember choosing a hummingbird because
Yeah,
their
yeah.
wings flap like 1,000,000 miles a second
Right.
or something crazy. They flap like 200 and I don't know, it's something crazy.
A lot.
But so fast. And so like I was thinking if we get the hummingbird to be my size and I ride it,
Yeah.
I could use that like hummingbird wing speed to
Right.
like do some like crazy supersonic stuff and like cut through
For sure.
windows.
That would be good. Noah?
I'm gonna go with the Cape Buffalo, not for safety but for entertainment,
Okay.
because like lions and leopards and all cheetahs, all kinds of those animals are always hopping on the hides and the flanks of those beasts,
Okay.
and so it'd just be super entertaining to watch them spear
So
these cats in the face.
why not just pick a lion?
That's a good point.
Because then you can like actually chase after them. Like you still get the entertainment value,
Yeah.
but you're a lion, and that's a little cooler.
Yeah.
But I picked a dolphin originally, but I changed mine slightly. On a technicality, to an orca, to a killer whale, because they're the coolest looking
They're
animals of all
so
time.
cool.
And what I would have this orca do is ride basically near the top of the water, and so my head would be outside the water, above the water, so I don't have to worry about the breathing
Okay.
issue.
Couldn't you just like
non-issue.
put your mouth in the blowhole? It'd give you some air.
Yeah, and a microphone. And so I would definitely pick an orca, and they attack like whales in packs, and I just think that'd be really cool to be a part of.
That's cool.
And
Just go to SeaWorld, dude. That's already a thing.
Yeah.
You don't even need to like. This isn't a fantasy. This is real life.
this could happen. And so the reins would go in the orca's mouth, like an actual horse, and it would 100% work.
Oh yeah.
I have no doubt.
Evan, I feel like you should have a saddle for that hummingbird because it's gonna flap.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
flap
be
right
crazy.
off.
It's gonna be like a bowl.
It's gonna be like the Flash has his suit. It's gonna have to be like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. The second question. Okay, so I was at work the other day and I was really bored. So I came up with 8 big cats and searched them on Google Images to figure out what the scariest big cat was. Just on Google Images, not like your.
Is it Lynx?
I forgot to put them in the bracket, but probably not.
Probably not.
And the winner. Anybody want to guess what the winner was? I already told Noah, but Evan, would you like to guess what the winner is? Scariest big cat.
Is it hairless
Based-
leopard?
No. No, but I didn't really include like just like weird ones like that weird me out. I didn't include like just like the traditional.
Okay, just the normal looking.
Yeah, so
just the normal looking hairless leopard.
right, exactly. the winner was the Black Panther.
Black Panther.
So very scary. Now, there have been some arguments for just like the traditional, like the lion and whatever. But the thing about a lion is I feel like it would honor kill you. Like it would kill you if it had to. But a Black Panther would go out of his way to sneak up on you for no good reason. Like it could be completely satisfied hunger-wise, but it'd just kill you anyway. And that's very scary. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's bored. So that's why Black Panther won. And this is strictly off Google Images. So like if there was a close matchup, I would just put like leopard. If it was a leopard jaguar, I put leopard scary. I put scary after it.
Now this is completely going against what I've learned from my zoology studies in the Jungle Book, because in that movie we find that Black Panthers are very good singers and quite lovely friends.
Okay, well, so the key being Google Images. So
not a magical fairy tale movie.
I'm pretty sure I had Black Panther, lion, tiger, leopard, jaguar, snow leopard, regular cheetah, and then an eighth big cat. I can't remember, but anyway, we'll get to these other topics later. We have some utensil questions. We'll take care of that later in this year of 2018. But this has been another episode of the Galloway Innisfil podcast. My name is Thomas Galloway.
Evan Isabel.
Noah Galloway.
So thank you guys, and once again, give us some feedback based on what you guys think about 2017 and what you'd like to see in 2018. And thanks again.
Every time we talk about animals, we should get like a...